Hey there, this is Angela at Bake It With Love, and today we're making our slow cooker or crock pot pork carnitas. I have taco seasoning here that I am mixing with 2 tablespoons of the chipotle and adobo sauce and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I mix the taco seasoning and the chipotle and olive oil to make a nice rub for our pork. That is actually an 8-pound pork shoulder, and you're going to go ahead and rub this in all the way around the meat. Get all the surfaces so that it's seasoned really well. And then you're going to go ahead and put it in your crock pot. You can start it now if you want. I cut up my 2 oranges into quarters and went ahead and squeezed them directly onto the meat. Getting the pulp in there is fine. Don't worry about that. Obviously pick out the seeds. You won't want to find them later. So, and when we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and cook it on high for 6 hours or low for 8 hours. Either way, it's going to be absolutely pull apart delicious when it's all done. And you want that orange juice. It's going to be all the juice you need in there, trust me. It's actually going to give you more juice than you think you need. So, go ahead and cover it, cook it. Here I am pulling it out onto the plate to pull it apart. I only used about half this portion for the evening, and I did Tupperware for the rest. But 2 forks, pull it all apart, and then while you're doing that, you can heat up your frying pan and go ahead and ladle out after you skim the fat. Ladle some of that juice out into a bowl and take it over to where you're going to go ahead and pan fry this meat. And then we usually add some cilantro and lime juice when we're cooking it too. That's optional. But you definitely want the juice because all your flavor's in that juice that's in the crock pot, and you're going to want to go ahead and add it back in when you fry the meat here, which is actually going to give you so much more flavor, and you're going to have little crispy bits, little brown bits on your pork carnitas meat here. You're going to love it. It's better than just taking it straight from the crock pot. Trust me on this. It may be an extra step, but it's totally worth it. I spent about 5 minutes here on the frying pan and then dished up our dinner. So take the minutes, do the step. Even when I package up my slow cooker or pork carnitas, I go ahead and put it in my Tupperware, my airtight container, and I put enough juice from the slow cooker also into the container. Even if I freeze it and use like bags too, if I don't use an airtight container and I put it in a bag, I go ahead and put just as much juice in as I would about an inch over the bottom of the container. So you want to include that because here we are adding the juice directly into our meat because we just cooked it. But if you refrigerate it or you freeze it, that moisture is going to set up on your meat and it'll be already in there for when you cook it back up to serve later. So anyway, we did add some cilantro, about a half a cup for, that was probably about half of the pork carnitas roast. So, and a couple lime wedges that we squeezed in. You could also add smoked paprika in there if you wanted to. It's not necessary though. Anyway, when you're done with this, you're going to want to go ahead and serve it immediately after pan frying it. And we go ahead and show you our plating here. We're going to add it on the plate that we will serve from, some cilantro on top there, and then I've got a couple of tortillas that I fried, and I'm going to stuff them in there and add some chopped tomatoes. I normally do pico de gallo, but I was doing using up some stuff that I had on hand. So more cilantro, some chopped tomatoes, a little bit of cheese, definitely some avocado,